So, we're back for some more pro tennis in Portugal. We're playing another UTR PTT. It's day one and I'm first up at 9 AM. And the crazy thing is, I'm playing David Quayle yet again. This is the 11th time that we have played in about 3 years, which is pretty nuts. It's got to the point now where we don't even check the draw. If we're in the same tournament, we just assume we're going to play each other. We played each other very recently in the UTR in Cardiff, where David absolutely crushed me 6-1, 6-2. So today I was out to set the record straight and get some revenge. It's interesting because we have played each other that many times. There are no secrets. We both pretty much know what the other player is going to do. So it becomes more about who can handle pressure better and how the conditions affect our styles. It was actually super windy here, which doesn't normally suit the way I play, but I was ready to adapt and figure things out. But most of all, after a few weeks off competing, I was ready to get stuck in. David's been serving really well recently, especially when I played him in Cardiff. I know that he's been working really hard on it, so I was aware of that. So my job was just to try and neutralise that serve, try and get as many back in play and try and make it tricky, especially with the conditions. It was super windy. It was actually very hard to time the ball clean consistently. So I knew straight away that this match was going to be a little bit more scrappy.
Out. Out.
So I managed to scrap through the first game, get a break. My job now was to try and hold. I wanted to try and be aggressive, but I knew with the conditions it was going to be about playing with margin and being patient. I did get a little bit tentative when under pressure. I just needed to turn the dial up slightly more and add a little bit more depth, a little bit more tempo. I was also trying to use my slice a lot more than I normally would, just to change up the pace and almost let the ball swing in the wind a little bit more, just to try and mix up my opponent as much as possible. Normally, I like to drive my backhand a lot more. I like to use it as a weapon, especially down the line. But considering the conditions, I didn't really want to take any risks that were unnecessary. So I was under pressure again on serve here. David is a pretty exceptional returner. His technique is pretty much flawless on the return. So there's no real obvious weakness on his forehand or his backhand side. So it means that I've just got to be pretty accurate when picking my spots, and I've also got to be quite clever with mixing it up. Can't really afford to let him get in a rhythm. So just overplayed on the forehand side, got broken. Now it's time to reset, not panic, and just go again. I knew that momentum was slightly shifting towards David, but I know that I've just got to be patient and ride it out.
Out. Out. Out. Come on.
found that out here in these conditions, it wasn't particularly quick, but the court was very reactive. The ball really got up high, so it meant that that heavy forehand was just super effective, especially when I was with the wind. It seemed to really carry the ball, and it often meant if I could get the ball up high, I could neutralize my opponent a little bit more and slow things down in moments where I needed a little bit more time to think, a little bit more time to relax and stay calm. I can remember thinking to myself in these moments that this match was going to be all about staying tough and trying not to think about the conditions too much, because sometimes even when the score got close, I could feel myself snapping at the ball, slightly speeding up or slowing down in the wind. I felt like I just had to keep putting my focus in something positive, like moving my feet a little bit more or taking a slightly shorter backswing just to guarantee the contact on the ball, and also just being a tough competitor, trying to make sure that I was always making my opponent play an extra ball, always trying to put the return in and not showing any signs of frustration, which is very easy to do in these sorts of conditions. So I got the break at the end of the first and took the set 6-3. My goal now was to stay focused, stay aggressive, and be tough.
Out. I think that's wide, right? Out.
So I worked my way to 3 break points. I could really feel that I could take control of this second set right now. But David had other ideas and quickly saved break points with some big serves. Again, not much I could do about that. He was really hitting his spots well. I just had to make sure that anything that I got a racket on went in the court.
One. Out.
David's backhand line is very good. I could see that anytime I was dropping the ball short, he was really hurting me with that. Some heavy hitting from David there on the backhand side. I feel like as the match was going on, the level was getting better and better. We were both getting more and more used to the conditions. The balls were starting to slow up a bit, so the rallies were getting a little bit longer and a little bit more intense.
Hinter Sepp. Out. 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 Out.
So I felt like I did a really good job of getting through my service games. I was serving surprisingly well considering the conditions. I was sensing this game at 5-4 was going to be the one to break. If I could just stay solid, be tough, I knew that I would have chances. Especially when I was against the wind, I could use my slice a little bit more. In my opinion, it's always harder to pick up a slice when you're with the wind, just because of the risk of it floating long. So a pretty scrappy end to the match. Probably not the way I would have liked to have won it, but again, got over the line, so very thankful for that. And after the match, there were a few things that I just wasn't really happy with, so decided to get back on the practice court. I missed a few forehands towards the end of the match and decided that I wanted to get back on the practice court and feel the ball a little bit more, just really let go of that forehand again, just to get that feeling back and make sure that my intention was to always be aggressive and go after it. I find that hitting after matches as well is the perfect cool down, and a really good feeling that I like to aim for is swinging slowly and smoothly, but with a completely relaxed hand. If your hand is completely relaxed, the racket will move fast anyway, and you need the speed to give you the spin. The spin brings the ball back in the court and gives you the control. I really find the feeling of swinging smoothly and slowly helps to keep you mentally calm. It helps to keep your head still on the ball. So after matches and practice, it's straight back to the Airbnb. In my opinion, nutrition is probably one of the easiest gains that you can get. If you're properly fueled up for matches and training, you have the right protein, fats, and carbohydrates, you're going to have more energy, you're going to perform better. I'm just lucky that I have my own personal chef that travels with me. And to be honest, the spot that we'd chosen wasn't bad at all. We were going to be here for 2 weeks, so we needed somewhere half decent.
Eat at an interesting time. Not like this kind of time.
So after a highly nutritional lunch, it was time to entertain Ella before she had an EPB. So I took her for an ice cream. I have to say that we were pretty lucky with our location. The place was absolutely stunning. We were right by the beach. And when the weather's good, it's just so nice here. But this is the real reason why I'm here. Portuguese coffee. Okay, so it's day 2 of the UTR. I know, I'm speaking quite like this, so it'll pick it up on the camera. So it's the UTR PTT Portugal. Won my first match, and yeah, it was a pretty good performance. It was windy, so it's hard to play like really good tennis. It was more just like adapting and yeah, trying to do the best that I could. So, but yeah, I got the win anyway, and today is actually my day off, so me and Ella are going to go and grab a little coffee in the centre of Alvor, which is a really nice place. There's amazing coffee. And then we're going to go and practice, and then we're going to come back and have another coffee. So I'll see you there. So we've made it to the coffee shop, and it does look sublime. Let's see what Ella's saying about her cappuccino.
I mean, it looks nice, to be fair.
What have you gone for? Cappuccino with, what is it?
Sweet cream.
Sweet cream?
Sweet cream.
Nice. And what's the little pastry you've got on the side there? You've been a bit naughty.
Pasta del Nasa.
Yeah?
It's, well, the English version would just be a custard tart, but this is 10 times better.
A tart?
What would you call it? You like them.
Yeah, I think it's like a custard tart, isn't it? It's like a pretentious custard tart. Even though I prefer a good old-fashioned egg custard, if I'm honest. Very classically British.
That's what I was trying to get to.
But the coffee here is so good. I mean, it's like, how much was it for like 2 coffees and a...
Well, it would have been like €3 something.
Yeah, it's like three euros, whatever, which is a farce. In the UK, it costs about, was it like £4 for a coffee now? £3.50?
£3.75.
Sheesh. And we've got this beautiful little view here of a little Portuguese street, so life's pretty good. God, that coffee was good. Now we're actually going to go and do something, go and train. Ella's put a jumper on, it's got a bit cold. When I say cold, it is still warm, it's just slightly cooler. Yeah,
I
so
have a temperature gauge.
Yeah, I'm still wearing a t-shirt and shorts, but I do that in like 5 degrees, so but yeah, should be good. I've got 2 sessions, both half an hour long. They're pretty much just match warm-ups. Yeah, great song. For me, something in tennis that's so under-practiced is serve and return. So I was just making sure on my day off that I was just getting the reps in, especially when you're mid-tournament. I feel like just hitting balls and getting rhythm isn't what it's really about. In my match against David, I was trying to stay on the baseline, be really aggressive with my returning position, so that's what I was just practicing here. And to do that, I was slightly shortening the backswings on the return and making sure that I was always moving forward or diagonal to the ball, just to make sure I always had my body weight behind the ball, keeping it really easy on my arm. Moving forward or diagonal also cuts your opponent's angles on the serve, so it makes it harder for them to create space. The one thing that I was really struggling with out here was second serve. It was getting up so high. My first serve return actually felt pretty good, but I just had to work out how to hit those high backhands. Normally, it's a strength of mine. When it came to the serving, my job was just to try and keep it as light and loose as possible, making sure that I was fully utilising my whole body, not just using my arm. It's something that I've been working really hard on at home during training. I haven't had loads of players to hit with, so I've been spending more time just hitting baskets of serves. And in my match against David, I felt like my percentages were definitely higher than previous tournaments. And also I was just getting access to a bit more easy power. My biggest improvement has probably actually been on my second serve. I've been feeling way more confident. My kick serve is a lot more consistent. I'm hitting far less double faults, but I'm also winning more of the points on my second serve. So very happy with that. It seems to be heading in the right direction. So that is where we're going to leave you for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't done already, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out on my journey, and I'll see you next time.